Okay, so imagine this scenario. You got your first job, your dream job, and your team lead has asked you to SSH into the production server and check the logs. And you're like, what the hell is that? You ask ChatGPT, you're doing some back and forth, and it's been 20 minutes. You are nervous. Should I message my tech lead or should I continue my conversation with this AI agent or whatever, right? What should you do in these situations? Because let's say your tech lead message you and ask like, what's the progress? Did you check the logs? What do you reply? Like, I'm asking an AI how to do that? So here's the problem. A lot of engineers, a lot of new graduates passing out with very basic knowledge of computer science. And especially if you don't have a computer science degree, it's getting tougher and tougher to get a job. And not because companies are not hiring, that's the separate reality. But do you really think that if you separate AI from your day-to-day activity, can you solve a decent bug? Can you solve a very minimum, like a bug that should take maybe 2 or 3 minutes or maybe 20 minutes to fix? Can you do that without an AI? And if your answer is no, I mean, we should probably fix that problem first rather than complaining about like there are fewer jobs. Maybe, but there are some jobs. Can you get those jobs? So in this video, we're going to talk about how you can become dependable as a software engineer. Like you don't have to depend on AI for everything. It is a tool. It is a good tool. It is like Stack Overflow. You can ask question, it will give you answer, but it cannot give you everything, because if it can, I mean, what's the point of having you at the job, right? Okay, so the first thing you need to do, or you need to learn, the first thing is Linux, CLI, Vim. Like these are the basic things you need to learn. I'm not going super deep into Vim, even I'm learning it right now, but I think learning Vim, especially if you're doing work on Linux, especially if you're working with a terminal, it's a necessity. That's why I'm learning, and I'm suggesting everyone to learn, because when you have that command, when you can think how to move files, how to read files, how to write file quickly without VS Code, that's a superpower. And as I explained, sometimes you'll be asked to go into production servers and there is no VS Code and maybe there is no agent. You have to do everything manually. How can you do that? So learn the basics of Linux. Learn how can you do basic CLI commands. I think I have a video I posted last year. You can go through that. I'll post it somewhere here so you can check that. But there are a lot of material about CLI. How can you use terminal better? Please do that. That's the very foundation of your computer science knowledge. Like if you can't do that, you can't build your career on shaky foundations, right? So you need to have strong foundations. And speaking about that, the point number 2 is about Git. You need to know how to work with Git, and it is not scary. Trust me. 80% of the time, you probably need 3 or 4 commands, which is fine. You'll be more than enough if you know those commands, because you can learn other commands if you know the basics of Git. So learn the basics of Git so that you can push your code, you can read other people's code, you can commit your code, you can run tests, like all these things you need to be able to learn Git. Because if you don't know like which code change made by which person, which developer in my team did that, so that you can ask him or her, hey, why did you do that? You need to be able to understand Git for that. Like, so these are the basic things you need to do. And I know you'll be like, man, I thought like you're giving us some huge suggestion, like how can you be a killer engineer? I mean, if you have to be a killer engineer, like learn to do the basic things. And I think this is what Bruce Lee has said. Like, I don't fear someone who knows 100 different techniques. I know someone who has mastered the art of doing 100 punches. So if you know someone who can do 100 punches, like you are better than 80% of the people. And next is a scripting language. Either it is Python or it is JavaScript. I want you to learn those languages. Maybe you're learning Java, that's fine. Maybe you're learning Go, that's great. But I would highly recommend learning either JavaScript or Python. First of all, they're huge demand. Like these 2 languages cover like 80% of the technologies nowadays. Like if you go to LinkedIn or Indeed, you'll see a lot of jobs, and companies are looking for great engineers who can master those languages, and they are comparatively easier languages to work on. So I would highly do either of them. Either it is JavaScript or it is Python, because if you know these languages, you can work with AI as well, especially Python. If you know Python, you can do a lot of things with machine learning tools, right? So my advice, if you want to become a killer engineer, like an engineer like every company wants to hire, I would definitely learn either of these languages apart from your other tech stack. I don't really care about that. But if you know either of these languages, you become really hireable. And the next is learning VPS and Docker. See, if you join a big org, they don't care about money. Like maybe your tech stack is on like Next.js and you're deploying on Vercel, which is fine. Maybe the company is paying like $1,000 a month. They don't care. But most companies, they care about the money they spend. So if you know about VPS, they're called virtual private servers. If you know about them, like you can do a lot in the cost saving front, because most companies, they think they need killer edge technologies, but most of the time they just need a VPS. That's a meme actually, but a VPS can solve 80% of the problem. You don't need AWS, you don't need Azure. Maybe you need a simple thing which can take your application to clients or to users, right? So you don't have to do fancy, like, and you can save a lot of money. So if you know these technologies, you can talk about this in your resume, that instead of using this framework, I'm just using VPS plus Docker, because with this technology I can deploy my application better, I can save a lot of money. And if you talk about these things in an interview with your manager or someone, right, they'll be really impressed. They're like, oh, and this man or this person knows about deployment, this person knows about business, and you become more hireable. Because on the other hand, someone who doesn't know about these things, they probably know some fancy terminology and you don't, but you have the real world knowledge, you have a real world skill which is valuable, which has a lot of demand even in this market. If you know these basic things, you will be highly hireable. The last but not the least is reading and debugging code. I don't care if you're AI. With AI, you can write a million lines of code in an hour. I don't care, because who is going to read that code? And if you say, I'll just do wipe code and push my code to production, well, good luck, because someone will find some kind of vulnerability in your system and that will cost you a lot of money. So it doesn't matter how much code an agent can churn. End of the day, someone has to read it. And if you don't know how to read the code, how would you approve a PR? How can you ask someone to review your code, because you even didn't read your code, right? So that's a problem nowadays. People, they think they can just push the code, someone will merge it, and then your job will be done. But that's far away from the reality. In real jobs, you need to be able to understand. You need to be able to tell what your code does. If you say, I don't know, I just ask Claude or ChatGPT to create this code, man, you will be fired in a day or so. Seriously, companies will ask you to use those tools. But the condition is you need to be able to tell them what this code does. If you can't, there is no job for you, because you don't know what you're typing, and that's not what they hired you, right? So make sure you understand code, make sure you read code. And how do you do that? First of all, you need to write code. Reading code is at least 10 times harder than writing code, trust me, because when you're reading code, you need to think why this person has changed this function to this function, why they created a new file, why it moves to libs folder, why it created a shared library for that. I'm just giving you an example. Why, right? You need to ask those questions to yourself, and then maybe the person who wrote that code. So start reading code. There are a lot of code on the internet, there are a lot of open source projects. You can download it, put it in your system, and think why they're doing this, why they're doing that. And once you have that muscle, trust me, you will become really, really hireable. So those are the points I wanted to talk about. If you like it, please put a like on this video and put a comment. Thanks a lot.